this year, though. You have a chance to check this one off the list this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it all boils down to us doing what we do, and I really look at this game as being an opportunity, another opportunity for this 2012 team to go and play. You know, you're only guaranteed 11 opportunities, and you only have a chance to keep these kids together for a certain amount of time. And so this is a big night, it's a senior night, or afternoon for our guys. And these guys have been with me for 5 years, and it's going to be one of those things that I think is really cool to see the development of those guys and how far they've come, and to buy into this vision that we have set together. Not me, it's what we have all set together. And so, you know, it's one of those things that we set out to do, and we set it out back in 2008 when we played our first season, that we were going to go and play as hard as we can, put our head down, go to work, and we're going to do it together. And so we have a chance to reach one of our goals.
And winning the conference, ultimately, what gets you to the playoffs is your regional ranking, right? I mean, and so this is a great accomplishment, but you need to, you guys are safe, but when you see that there was a change in the regional ranking this week, you slipped down from 1 to 2, does that ever concern you? That what are they seeing that makes you slide or anything?
I don't have any control over it.
Right.
So our players don't have any control over it. And again, you media types like to talk about it all the time. And so the only thing we can control is at 2 o'clock, the ball's going to be kicked off, and how hard we play, what kind of attitude we're going to bring to work, and hopefully have some enjoyment in doing what we do. So those are things that concern me, not the regional rankings, because in the long run, everything will take care of itself. And if we handle our business and do the right things, great things will happen. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. It's not good enough, it's not good enough. But all I ask our guys to do is not be perfect, but just put your head down, go to work, and play as hard as you can for 60 minutes. And if it's good enough, it's good enough.
Coach, let's go back to last week's win over Mesa a little bit. Do you think that was the most complete game that your team's played this year?
You know, it was pretty close. I thought we had really outstanding efforts in all 3 phases. I thought our defensive line was really a dominant factor. Our secondary was able to shut down their passing game a little bit, and our linebackers were all over the place on the field. And on offense, I really felt like we got in a groove, running the ball and throwing the ball. I think we were pretty much about 250 running, 250 pass, or whatever that was, and that's pretty balanced. I thought our receivers ran some great routes, and we had some great protection from our offensive line and our backs, and our quarterback was able to throw it on target. So, it's pretty close.
It's been far from an injury-free year. With that initial traveling roster was, I think, 50-plus players. How many replacements have had to come in this season, and what have they meant to this year's team?
I think we've been really pretty lucky that we've been able to keep injuries to a minimum a little bit. We've had them at key positions with their running backs. Our top receiver hasn't been playing one game, and we had to make a change in our offensive line because one of our starters got hurt. Defensively, we've only lost one starter, but I think the key really to me is the guys that have come in and has played at a high level. And to me, it goes back to them being a part of the cause, whether they're the starter or not. It's the part of a backup when he gets his opportunity to step in and accept that role. But you just can't do it from week to week. You have to be into it for the 15 weeks that we're doing, and that's what this team's all about. So, the guys that have come in and stepped up, I'm really happy with the depth and what they've done. Someone's going to have to do that, throughout the year. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really happy with the depth that we have.
I want to have you talk a little bit about your offensive line. I mean, this is a group that has paved the way for, it seems like it doesn't matter who you put in the backfield to run with the ball, they're going to be productive. Obviously, some of that credit goes to the offensive line, than what Ross is able to do in the quarterback position. Obviously, credit goes to the offensive line there too. What do you see in that group of guys that has been so successful this season?
Well, to tell you the truth, when we started the season, I expected what they're doing. They might have done it a little bit better, but when you have a total of 125 starts to start the season, those guys have really gone on and beyond the Call of Duty is the way I'm looking at it. Chris Simonton has done a great job of coaching them. They bought into it. They're as dominant of a group of guys I've ever been around. And without them doing what they're doing, we want to be balanced. Let's call it like it is with our run and pass game. And you nailed it right on the head when you said whoever we put in a running back, but our offensive line hasn't changed. That's the consistent of what we've done. And I believe championships are formed with how physical you are in the offensive line. And that's with our offense and defense line when we practice. So I feel very lucky to have the group of guys that we have. They're playing at a high level, and we just got to finish it right now.
One guy specifically, when you look at him, I mean, obviously your centers, he doesn't look like a college lineman when you see him. What did you see in him in the recruiting process that made you think, hey, you can be our starting center someday?
You know what? He's from Westfield High School in Houston, Texas. And a guy I coached up at CU was coaching him. And he calls me and says, hey, would you just take a look at this tape? I go, okay. Watched about 10, 15 plays, and I said, this guy's pretty good. And I called him back and said, what's the catch? He says, well, he might be 5'9", and he might be about 210 at this point. I said, really? So I looked at the tape again, and he's going against guys that are 250 pounds, 280 pounds, and just playing a relentless style. He's as close to a relentless player that I've seen on high school tape. Came up on a trip, was very quiet, very reserved, looked you in the eye, and I said, I want you to come play for us. I want you to be a part of it. And he's been called the pound for pound, the best college football player in America. Not at Division II, but Division I and all the way around. And so he's just a tenacious, relentless, smart, tough guy. You know what's separating him from everybody else? He's 5'9", 225, but he does his job like he's a champion. And I'm very lucky to have a chance to coach him.
Has there ever been like a wow moment for you where you see him going up against a guy maybe twice his size almost?
I tell you, 2 years ago we went to West Texas. They had two nose guards that were 6'4", 310, 6'3 and a half, 315, and he dominated the game. And so that, wow, you know, and the way he plays, and the way he handles his business, he's just the ultimate professional. I mean, he handles, I never had any issues with him. He works his tail end off. He's a great student, and he enjoys college. And I need 80 more of those guys because it makes my job easy because he's absolutely a joy to coach.
What you're describing, can you coach that, or you're born with it?
Well, I like to think I can coach it, but the reality is no. But I think you can enhance it, and you can either what you see on tape and what you develop on the field is what you tolerate. So if you're not getting relentless effort, you're not getting the effort you need, then you're tolerating it. So that's part of our emphasis here at CSU-Pueblo as a Pac football player is that you're going to be excellent in everything you do. And that starts with going to class socially and making sure you give it your all. If you give it your all, that's all anybody could ask of you. But if you do half-ass and you don't do what you need to, then you shouldn't be a part of it. You shouldn't be a college student. You shouldn't be a college football player. So that's kind of what I'm trying to entrench in these guys and give them some knowledge about, hey, put your head down, go to work, whether it's the classroom, socially, or on the football field. So when you have a work ethic like he had, you just want to develop it.
Coach, let's look ahead to New Mexico Highlands this week. They've lost one game against a Division I opponent, and they lost to Shad Run by 3 points. They're a very good team. They feature a very potent passing attack. What's going to be the key to winning this week?
Well, the key is scoring one more point than them. You know, that's the obvious of statements. But really, I think it boils down to three areas. One, we got to tackle on defense. Two, on offense, we got to control the clock. And then the third part is we got to have great composure. Composure, making sure that we handle our business, we do what we do, and not worry about anything else. And so if we handle those three things, it's going to be a close ball game. And hopefully we'll be able to score enough points to win it.
How impressed have you been by their quarterback watching him on tape?
He's a very good quarterback. He eludes the pass rush very well. He has a knack for getting out of the pocket, but he also throws one of the best deep balls I've seen in college football. That's Division I, Division II. He puts it up in the air. Their receivers do a great job of making plays. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Coach, it's not dubbed the RMAC championship game, but are you guys treating it like a championship game? I mean, you guys win and you get a share of the RMAC title. Is that the way you guys are kind of going into the game?
It's another game to us. It's another responsibility for us to go and play our best in front of our hometown, our stadium, our students, our everything we're representing. It's our responsibility to go give it our best, and this is another game. Obviously, it has a little more at stake at it, but we're not calling it the RMAC championship. We're not addressing it. We still have another game after that to really determine it. And so, all we can do is that we're guaranteed to go play for 60 minutes at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
One thing I was going to ask you about, did Forrest Gregg have a chance to talk to the team? How did that come about? And will there be another celebrity pregame speech in the near future?
You want to come talk?
Sure. Well, I don't think I'll motivate him.
You think I'm gonna motivate him?
Yeah, not so.
Forrest Gregg came and talked to our team before Black Hill State, and Forrest Gregg lives in Colorado Springs, and he was tied into one of our guys that has been a part of us bringing football back, and he asked me. Forrest had been kind of following us a little bit, and he brought it up to this gentleman that wanted to